What up bros, I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Doomlands Desolator. This blaster is very similar to the Strife in the fact that it's a flywheel semi-automatic magazine-fed blaster in the post-apocalypse theme line Doomlands by Nerf. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster itself with the magazine already inserted, a few white darts, and the instructions. Now let's go over the externals and function in a bit more detail, starting up at the front. Being a Doomlands blaster, it does not have an N-Strike tactical attachment up front, so you cannot put on your barrel extensions. Up here is an N-Strike tactical rail, and then another back here. I think this one's unique and pretty cool. So you know, if you want to run your advanced tactical optic up here, and then your thermal or your advanced magnifier or something fancy, I'm just being funny. But what else would you do with the space? So I'm glad they put the rail up there. There's a sling mount right here, which I find to be kind of an odd location for that. This black thing doesn't open up or hold anything. It's just a location to put your hand. I think the front of this blaster is pretty comfortable. Down here is the magazine and the magazine well. The included magazine holds 10 darts. It's similar to the normal banana mag, but it has a white little bottom piece. This is an N-Strike magazine. This will fit into other blasters, and other blasters in the N-Strike line mags will fit into this blaster. Doomlands mag with the cool little bottom, normal 10 round modulus magazine, same capacity. From here upward, they're the same shape, so that's what is important with the compatibility. Once you load that up, you can put it right back into the magazine well. Right here is the magazine release. In the back here, so you can extend your middle finger if you want to do that during the game, or use your offhand and strike it when you're grabbing it. This is great because it's an ambidextrous magazine release, and it's pretty quick. Pretty nice design. I'm glad that they continue to implement that into the current blasters. Up here is the access door. This is a transparent orange, so you can open that up to clear any jams. I haven't had any jams or malfunctions, but if you run it hard enough, you might eventually. Most of the time, your jams are caused by crappy darts or user error. Access door being clear doesn't really matter that much because the side of the blaster right here is clear. I think that's pretty cool because you can see the little extension arm poking into your darts as you're firing because it's a semi-auto blaster, which is pretty cool. And the transparency also goes downward a little bit because the top of this magazine is also transparent. You can see the last few darts. Even if you normally use clear magazines in an opaque magazine well, once you get to your last 4 or 5 darts, you don't really know how many darts you have. If you want absolute certainty, with the clear side, you can tell exactly when you're shooting your last dart. And it's even easier if you're shooting a gangster style, because then in your eye line is your dart. So then you can just like be looking through, obviously holding your pants up if it's true gangster style, as you're gadding people down, so then you can see how many darts you have left. Doomlands or Mad Gangster line, I don't know. Moving back to these buttons, the bottom one is the rev switch. When you press that, you rev it up. Being a flywheel blaster, you have to do that before you fire, and the primary trigger is when you inject a dart into the flywheels to actually fire. I complained about the grip in the Doomlands Double Dealer review, and this, in the same Doomlands line, is a very similar grip, so I believe now it's just a Doomlands theme to just make adults and people with large hands really angry when they use the blasters. The length of pull or trigger reach is really small, the distance from here to there. So when you're holding the blaster, it feels extremely cramped because I want the trigger to be over here instead of all the way back here. So when you're trying to fire quickly, your fingers might cramp up. And I've said it a million times, I'm aware I'm not the target market. I'm over 6'3" in height. It's designed for children, but if you have a more reasonable trigger reach, like in a Nerf Strife, kids don't have a hard time firing that, and it's still comfortable for an adult. So blah, I don't like this pattern. I hope it dies in the Doomlands blasters because I do like this blaster, but this is a deal breaker for me because it's just uncomfortable compared to the Strife. Down here is another sling or a lanyard mount, and then the stock doesn't have any other functional components, dart storage or compartments or anything like that. Over here on the side of the blaster is the battery tray. After you remove this single screw, the panel will open and you can install your 4 AA alkaline batteries. Overall, this blaster is very thin, and it's notably thin when you hold the blaster. It's still asymmetrical because of the flywheel unit, but it's thin. It feels nice, and it doesn't have a bulging battery compartment or anything like that. But to the operation, it works like any other semi-auto flywheel blaster. You load up your magazine, hold down the rev trigger, assuming you have batteries in, and you fire away. Performance is pretty nice. It shoots pretty quick, just like other flywheel blasters. Put it up on the chronograph and it's getting an average of about 73 feet per second, which is slightly above average. Nothing to say, woohoo, I'm gonna outgun everybody, but we wanna be on the higher end of that compared to the 70 FPS elite average right now. So on par as far as power goes with everything else. To the trigger. Now, other than the length of pull, which I dislike, the smoothness of the trigger is a huge upgrade. Compared to other flywheel semi-automatic blasters, this is the smoothest trigger pull that I've seen in an unmodified blaster. This feels like one of my modified stripes when I've taken out all of the locks, filed down some components, and threw a whole bunch of grease in it to make it slippery and smooth, just how I like it. It's great because that helps you pull it faster and you don't lock up quite as much. Casuals or people that don't run their guns really hard don't really realize when locks are in place because that's how they're designed. But when you want to run the gun to the limits, you're usually going to run into those locks slowing you down just a little bit. If you've experienced that, it's annoying when your trigger's locking up because you're trying to go da-da-da instead of da-da-da, how it's designed to be shot. Screw that. I want to go as fast as I can. Got to go fast. But this trigger feels unrestricted. So props to you guys at Hasbro making the blaster able to go super fast right out of the box. So for my overall opinion on the Desolator, other than the length of pull thing that I just complained about, everything about the blaster is fantastic. I really like the transparent side to be able to see not only the action because I think that's cool, but also the magazine. So if you're using clear mags, which I do, you can see precisely how many darts you have left. Doesn't matter all the time, but every once in a while when you're like, oh, I can't see, it's kind of a bummer. I think it's much better to have access to it, and even if you don't look at it, fine, it's not really in the way. Although as a right-handed shooter, I think it'd be a little easier if that transparent side was on the left because it's a little quicker to look over there than looking around the blaster. I like the rails over here. I definitely like the rear rail option instead of just leaving this blank. I'm not sure that I would put something on there, but I like the option to. As far as thumbhole stocks go, or stocks that have a connection point at the bottom, this is one of the more comfortable ones because it has so much space in here for your hand. I really dig that. It's not really as long as I would like it to be, but being an SMG class, I get why they shortened it up, and most Nerf stocks are pretty small anyways. So those are all of the things that I think are great about the Desolator, but the one thing, and I'm gonna harp on it again, the trigger pull here, it feels extremely cramped in this region. If they move the trigger up half an inch or another inch, it's not like a kid can't pull the trigger, but it's making it more comfortable for everyone else. So despite all of the cool things that I really dig about the blaster, I can't use this in a Nerf war because my hand would cramp up. To anybody over maybe 5'8" in height, I would try to hold one of these or hold a Doomlands double dealer because the grip feels very similar before you go and buy one because it might be too cramped for you. If you have a Hobbit hand, then you're probably good to go. And the rest of the blaster, especially since it's already downsized for you small people, it should be really comfortable and a fantastic purchase. I've had mixed reviews in the past, but this is one that I'm kind of disappointed about because I love so many features about this blaster. It really is great to hold it, but then when I have to go into fire and put my finger on the trigger, it's annoying. It's too small. I think it is objectively wrong to design it this way. You're not helping anybody and you're just pissing off other people. I disagree with your strategies, Hasbro. Yeah, so. But that's my review and opinion of the Doomlands Desolator. Hopefully I provided all the information you need to know whether or not you'd like to purchase one. If you'd like to buy one, I'll put a buy link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay tactical.